And welcome back to Midday, everybody. Teaching people how they can help end the killing of pets in shelters. It's one of the goals of the Best Friends Animal Society, and our good friend on Good Things Utah, Temma Martin, joining me now on Midday to talk about this effort. The No Kill Utah report card just came out. If our viewers don't know what that is, Temma, will you explain it?
Yeah, so No Kill Utah is a coalition of 57 shelters and rescue groups across the state working together to try to make Utah a no-kill state. And what that would mean is that 90% or more of all the animals that come into shelters across the state would have to leave alive. And the 10%, up to 10%, are ones that have severe behavioral or medical problems that are not treatable. And those, that's a humane euthanasia. But we want to stop the killing of pets in shelters. So this report card shows where in the state we're succeeding and where in the state we have challenges. Statewide, we're at about 85%, trying to get at least to 90%.
Well, and we're looking at a graphic of breaking it down county by county. What did you find when you looked at it this way?
So we have a number of counties that are already there. We have some counties that don't have shelters, but the main thing that we saw here is that Utah County, out of the 3,500 animals that we need to save to make Utah no-kill, about 1,300 of them are being killed in Utah County. So we really want to step up the game in Utah County, encourage people to adopt and spay-neuter, volunteer, spread the word, help out. But largely it's because those shelters in Utah County do not have a community cat return to field program. And that would mean when cats come into other urban shelters that are feral, they're spayed or neutered, vaccinated, ear tipped, where they take the little tip off their ear, and then released back to where they were, and then people maintain those colonies.
I know you brought a cute little kitty today. This is Philip. Just to emphasize the point that this is for, dogs as well, but cats are killed more than dogs in shelters?
Yes, dogs are doing better statewide. About 63% of the animals killed in shelters are cats, and so we encourage people to adopt and spay neuter and help out with those community cats. And right now, if 10 additional individuals or families each day choose to adopt a pet from a shelter or rescue group, we can achieve this.
10?
Yes, in the next year.
That's doable. Were there positives in the report? Are we doing better as a state?
Yes, for sure. When we started this coalition in 1999, 103 animals were killed every day, and now we're down to about 10. So we're definitely making progress. This is our final push to make Utah a no-kill state by 2020.
I should ask you, too, how many other states in the country are no-kill states?
If we achieve this, we will be the second in the country.
Really?
So, and the other one is a tiny one in the Northeast. So
you would love us to be at the forefront of this initiative. Everybody, if you want more information, I love the website right there, Save Them All, right? That's the goal.
If you go to nkut.org, that has the report card on it and what people can do to help.
And bestfriends.org as well. Those are two websites that are great to find more information. You can go to our website and we'll link you, abc4.com/midday. Good to see you in the afternoon, Temma.
Thanks, Nisha.
Brian and Em, over to you.